All right, folks, Frank Zarilla here, March 23rd, 8:35. Let's do a quick video. In regards to the market, I think we're still stuck in the mud. First and foremost, let's take a look at breadth. It's back above the 5-day moving average. It was much higher intraday. Went as high as almost right over here, 33.64, closed at 27.81. The market went up on the back of some positive Iran news, as you can see here in the 5-minute chart, but we had this big gap at 7 in the morning and we basically sold off the entire day and we kind of closed at the lows of the day. And right now we're back right over here, pretty much the lows of the day. So it's hard to trust. It's hard to trust what's going on underneath the surface, where if you look at the inverse ETFs, they are still the best looking charts out there. Look at the TZA, SPSX, they all bounced off the 10-day moving average. You have the SQQ, same exact thing. So it's hard to trust the indices. I think even when we end this war, I still think we have some issues. I think the market has put in some umbrella tops. I think there was a lot of volume up here by institutions. And I just think that doesn't change overnight. We're sitting underneath all the moving averages. So although we got above the 5-day moving average on breadth, I'm not buying any triples, right? I'd rather go through some individual stocks and try those first. I want to buy the triples when we have a panic sell-off where you can feel people are selling no matter what. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen some heavy volume, but we haven't seen a washout yet. I've seen more people looking for green shoots or positive things than actually looking for, they're looking for positives instead of looking for, hey, let me sell, right? And we've been accustomed with these V rallies and always bouncing, but we'll see. But look, this is my list today, ATOM Wolf, right? Here's a stock that's been holding up pretty well. You can say it's been holding up pretty well, and it tried to break out and it came right back in. But at the same time, we have some other stocks like FSLY that took off today, right in the morning. LUNR, which has some earnings, reacted positive to earnings, but then sold off. Bounced today. We had SATL, which reported, was up on some big news, both aero defense companies. So it's an interesting situation here. Here, 30-minute look across the board. We're pretty much underneath the 5-day moving average in all the major indices and sectors, except maybe for the IWM, but that's been weak anyways. So I'm not convinced here. I think we have some work to do, but again, that doesn't mean I can't change my mind tomorrow sometime this week. But this is what we're looking at here, just a pattern of lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and really no panic selling, which is sometimes the ingredient that you want to know that things are going to turn around. In the meantime, if you've been following breadth and what's been going on, chances are extremely high that you more than likely you've been out of the market or out of swing trades or not doing many swing trades since January 23rd. I know whatever it is that I've done very little, and I've done probably more inverse stock ETFs and inverse index ETF than anything else. And whatever it is that I've tried on the long side, it's been very small, right? So let's take a look at the rolling 5-day watch. Let's just see if we can come up with some ideas. But here, this RKLB, I've tried shorting this stock multiple times. I'm short a little bit now. It's been holding the 68 level. Every time it gets to the 21-day moving average, there's an active seller there, but it's just not breaking down. So the vehicle of choice is RKLZ. ASTN is another one that's ASTS on the long side, very similar to RKLB. It looks like if it's put in the top, it's come out with some positive news, but every time it comes out with positive news, they hit it with a big offering. That's ASTS and RKLB. LUNR, this has been holding up extremely well, came out with their numbers, 30% short. Right. I tried it right over here, but it didn't go, and I sold it right before they came out with the numbers. Again, numbers came out, it popped up. Now this was on Friday, and it sold off, and today reversed all those intraday losses. ONDS, this happens to be, as of right now, every time the stock wants to go, it just comes back in. There's another seller in there. That's the non-stop seller of the stock, right? One day it might go, or one day some bad news might come out and they'll get down, and then we'll know why. Let's see. LABD, this is the XBI short biotech. Again, look, nice little round bottom. Here's the XBI, kind of like a rounding umbrella top. I like this going through. I'm already short some, and I sold some already. I like this for tomorrow going through this low. to add to the short. Let me jot that down so I don't forget. LABD. See what else we have here. AAHR. This looks good. This looks good. Going through this high right over here. BE. The stock has had a major run. As you can see, there's a short BEZ short, and I don't think it's ready yet, but 105.43, $3. Right now with the market, the way it's trading, where the volatility is kind of high, even inside days, the buy stop might be far away. Right, but as of right now, my only interest is just jotting down some stocks and seeing how they trade. But this over here, this inverse SPY, I mean, a rounding bottom, and the 10-day and the 21-day moving average have been acting as support. And I sold a lot of this on Friday. I own a very small piece. I want to go back in there and buy, but I figure let me just focus on some single stock ETFs that are going to move a little bit more than the individual indices. These things still look really good. Look at SQQ. Right? This rounding bottom. We might need to look at this TZA hits the 21-day moving average and just pops. TSM 416, April 16. All right, this might be a good short. It's TSM now. I was short this stock via MUD, and I sold today as it hit the 50-day moving average. But this TSM, this might be it here via STSM, right? Buy stop through yesterday's highs, through today's highs, 37.89. Sell stop 35. AVGO is another one via AVS, Apple Victor Sam. This, again, rounding top, came out with great numbers, had a pop, sold off. Now is trading underneath the 200-day moving average, which is this purple line here. As you can see here, support, and over here now acting as resistance. 314, you can probably get a better entry here. You can probably get a better entry if you lower the time frame, probably 319.26. VGO 319.26, which is this low right over here, right? And if you go to AVS, this high right over here. But breaking this down right over, okay. So I'm going to come up with a list of, some long and shorts. IBRX looks good. This one I had on the list on Friday. Broke through the previous day high. This inside day, but came right back in. It's just the nature of the market. But this stock has been holding up extremely well considering the market. The volume has been consistently heavy. This is the reason why I call this a wow factor stock. Stock is dead, barely trading. Well, it was trading a little bit. But then the volume comes in 45, 75, 180 million shares, 211. And it continues. Today, 26 million shares. Some of these like SATL and SUNY, I just put these in the list because they reported some numbers that look very interesting. 5, same thing. Rivian, same thing. This is interesting. OIS, Oil Gas Equipment Services. Oil was down big today, but OIS did quite well. This XOP, which I'm short via long drip, looks okay. On the 30-minute chart, still above the 5-day moving average, but 174.38 is the low that I'm looking for to add to my short drip. And that on drip will be 455 as the trigger. All right, so let's take a look at here, 25 million shares. Let's take a look at the inside day. HIMS big on this news over here, 174 million shares, 2310. Stop 2170. Those numbers right over here. Right, plug. Look at the stock. Nice little base over here. Electronic components. The trigger 235. Sell stop 220. Nokia 819. 790. A lot of stocks printed an inside day due to volatility of Friday's market, and then today, EDSA 97 million. 43.30. Intel, another stock holding extremely well. 45.46, 43.70. Okay, that's enough names on the long side. Let's take a look at some of these short ETFs. Stock is still under pressure. Yeah, these quantum names. I think I've squeezed out enough juice out of those things for now. All right, so we have STSM on the list, right? We have AVS on the list. You can take a look at the 30-minute charts for better entries. MUD, I went long the stock at 34.22, sold the bulk of it up $3 today. This is the BE short. Broke the 50-day moving average today. I think what's going to happen is that all of these stocks that have been holding up well, the air is going to come out. Right, all these big winners, but we'll see. It's too extended for me right now in the short term. This is CLSK, yen, and BIS, SMR. Right, you have to look at the underlying stocks when you're looking at these inverse ETFs. Tesla's another one, right? Long here, CRCD. This is one that I shorted on Friday, but I covered today, right at the 10-day moving average, and just didn't want to break it. Look at this one. NVIDIA, NVDQ, 1778. Stop was 1680, NVDA. So here's NVIDIA, right? It's been trading sideways for a while. 200-day finally catches up, kind of like support right over here, right over here, right over here. Breaks below it, bounces, it stops at the 200-day. Today, pretty much the same thing. Again, when I'm going through this list, I'm already putting a star next to LABD. I'm putting a star next to STSM, which is the short TSM, AVS, and here now NVIDIA, right? HIMS and DRIP, because DRIP might be one of those parabolic plays. HIMS on the long side, that might be okay. I know it's heavily shorted. There was some game-changing news on that one when the FDA president resigned. So now they're looking at things, a little bit differently. But that's what we're doing. That's what I'm looking. That's what's getting me excited. Is those things right there. Those few names. TSLZ is a Tesla. Okay. So new personal watch list 324. And let's go. LABD. We're gonna put XBI because that is underlying. KRMN, AEHR, STSM, TSM, AVS, AVGO, DRIP, XOP, HIMS, Plug, Kia, Intel, NVIDIA, NVDQ. Okay, so now here we have a list. Just go through this one more time. Yeah, I'm more inclined here with the shorts. Right? I wish I would have bought more SPXS today, or at least a little bit more, but it's just, when you have a correction, I just hate to short on day one. Normally, I don't want to short days 2 or 3, but I don't know. I think the market is extremely heavy. So you just have to play. Listen, you have to play it small. Things will turn, and you want to make sure that you have your capital, your mental capital intact when it does. And when we get that window, what you want is you want to be able to just pull the trigger, make as much money as possible when we get that little window. All right, so I'm going to put this list on the stream, and we'll take it day by day.